God
Hey everyone, what's up? GG here with another replay analysis. This time we're going to be looking at a Safelane Spectre. I saw a post on Reddit recently, and this is the 8K MMR Spectre player. His name is Badman. He plays on the Europe servers, and I think he's actually #1 right now, over Miracle, who plays for OG. So this should be a pretty interesting game to watch. I tried to pick a game that looked pretty even in terms of stats, so it's not going to be a stomp either way. Those games are probably the best to watch and learn from, because we sort of see all different situations and how the Spectre is going to deal with them. So anyway, this game is like probably average around 6.5k, probably higher. And everyone in this game is going to be pretty good. So we should be in for a treat. This guy plays Spectre pretty much every game, and he doesn't first pick it. He tells his team to pick heroes like Zeus and Spearbreaker and stuff, which may be part of the reason why he's so high MMR. But if you can get your team to work with you, all the better. But yeah, he's been picking Spectre every game, so people know this. They know they can pick heroes to counter him, and he seems to be winning quite a bit. So it's not just because he's last picking and he's playing really good Spectre games. He just actually is an insane Spectre player. Alright, so for starting build, he did go Stout Shield, 8 Tangos, and he did pick up a Quelling Blade in lane. For most of his games I've seen, he always gets Stout Shield, and he always gets 2 sets of regen. Usually 8 Tangos. Doesn't always pick up the Quelling Blade in lane, but eventually will pick it up. Because Spectre does have pretty low base damage, as you can see, only 48. So a bit difficult to last hit if people are contesting you. And his lane is pretty difficult. Looks like there's an Arc Warden here. Arc Warden, Enchantress dual lane. Pretty scary. The Enchantress did not take enchant at level 1, which is a definite mistake. This guy might be like 6k, 7k or something, but I don't think he knows how to play Enchantress very well. Definitely take enchant level 1. There's not really an argument about it. Pretty much every pro player already takes enchant level 1 anyway, so yeah. Spectre getting Desolate level 2. Pretty aggressive. He also did pick up Boots, which I think is interesting. Did not go for the Poor Man Shield, which is a more defensive option. I think this is the correct choice. He seems to really want to kill the Enchantress before she gets her levels, which is, I think, the correct way to deal with her. If you let her get to like level 3 or 4, she has 2 levels in Untouchable and she has her heal, and it's almost impossible to kill her. But right now, when she's pretty weak, level 1 Untouchable isn't that hard to deal with. It's pretty easy to kill her. So he wants Boots first. He wants to be able to chase her down. Also, Enchantress with Boots, Enchantress without Boots has the same movement speed as Spectre with Boots. So that's another reason why you might want to pick up Boots, or else she has 45 movement speed on you. Yeah, looks like he's gone through half his regen already. And Enchantress pops her heal there. And level 1 heal is not that strong. She's level 3. But if she's not careful, she could go down here. There's a lot of damage on these guys. Nightmared. And Desolate hit. That's like a third of her HP. And looks like I'm gonna dive this. And good spread of tower damage. Sunstrike? Gonna miss. So really good kill there. Yeah, you have to kill the Enchantress early to be able to deal with this lane, though it's still gonna be pretty hard. Nice of the Abaddon to come in and shield the Spectre. So his skill build so far has been 2-1-0. I would say this is pretty standard. Gonna pick up Dispersion at level 4. Desolate is just insane amounts of damage early. It's 20 pure damage. can really net you kills against people who sort of underestimate Spectre's damage output. People think she's like super weak in laning, and she is. She's not. She doesn't have like a stun. She doesn't have a good nuke. But if you do get hit by Desolate, it's a lot of damage. So now he picked up Poor Man's Shield, and it looks like he's gonna go for Phase Boots next. Out of all the games I watched, he goes Phase Boots 100% of the time. And yeah, like Enchantress is got high levels and untouchable, pretty unkillable at this point. So good thing they killed him before. But he always gets Phase Boots. Never treads. I've seen arguments for both boots on Spectre. Phase just because you're a very slow hero and you need the mobility. And treads just to have a bit more tankiness and to have synergy with your Desolate, because it is hit based and not based on your damage. So you get more hits off, you get more Desolates off, more damage. This guy goes phase every game though, so if you're gonna play in this guy's style, and you'll sort of get what I mean by style as we watch more of the game, then Phase Boots is your choice. He plays a very aggressive Spectre. He's not a Spectre that farms a lot. A lot of Spectres, you know, they just sit in lane, they get Vanguard, they go for their Radiance, and then they kind of hope their team is able to hold until they get their Radiance, and then they like join team fights. And usually that's enough to sort of turn the game. But you are playing at a pretty big disadvantage if you're just staying in lane and farming all game. So instead, this AK Spectre player, he is super active and goes for pickoffs instead. And we're gonna see how he does it.
Healing power.
Enchantress might be in danger of being bursted. Oh, that was really close. Unfortunately, the healing seems to be a bit too much. Arc Warden rotates as well, and Spectre seems to be fine. Alright, just kidding, Invoker's coming. And he just eats a Sunstrike to the face. That was a bit strange. I don't know why the Invoker had to run to the lane to Sunstrike him. I guess they want to push the tower, but I don't think they're going to get it. But yeah, unfortunate death there. Trying to go for a kill. And just looking at his item progression, he did pick up Phase, PMS into Wand. Or sorry, he went Boots, PMS, Phase into Wand. Wand is basically a pick up every game. Really strong item. Good on Spectre for your like dispersion, just helps you tank. Yada yada. Just one on every hero is basically core. I've noticed that this Spectre player never gets Ring of Aquila. And I don't know his reasoning, though I can sort of guess. Ring is something that most carries get for damage and mana regen. And since Spectre almost always goes Urn, he doesn't really need the mana regen. And he's not really spamming spells for mana anyway. He only needs to use Dagger for ganks. And he doesn't care too much about the damage because most of his damage is coming from Desolate. He doesn't really need the damage from Aquila, which is why it's so good. Aquila is like 1,000 gold for 18 damage, mana regen, and armor, and like +3 stats, which is pretty insane for agility carries. But he doesn't feel like he needs the stats or like the agility and the damage. He just wants the tankiness and mana regen from the Urn. And Urn is cheaper too, it gives you a bit more utility. So it's sort of a replacement for Ring. Alright, looks like he's gonna go for this Juggernaut up here. And unfortunately does not get the kill. And Invoker is rotating as well. Unfortunate death there, but the attempt was really good. He saw the Jug spinning in top and diving at half HP. And just went for the kill. Went for the haunts relocating. Getting a kill on the enemy safe laner when you're the safe lane is pretty huge in terms of just setting the tempo for the rest of the game. It can put you ahead by quite a bit. He did drop below the Juggernaut because of that death, I think, though. So, good idea, but the outcome was not really that great. So he hasn't had the best early game. He is still pretty farmed, the most farmed hero on his team, but the score is 2-8, 2-9 now. So his team's not really doing so hot. We'll see how he kind of transitions into the mid game and how he recovers from his bad start. I almost forgot to talk about Urn. Okay, so Urn is a good item on Spectre because you can really easily get Urn charges when you haunt in, and it just gives you tankiness, gives you mana regen, as I said before, and it helps you with your chasing. Spectre has a lot of chasing power with Dagger, but she kind of suffers from damage. Desolate is good damage, but Urn sort of gives you that extra bit of DOT that secures you kills. Obviously, if you have a Zeus on your team, that helps as well. It also gives you self-sustain, because Spectre usually doesn't go stuff like Vlad's or like Battle Fury. So HP regen is sort of hard to come by. Usually they go Vanguard, but since this Spectre player plays a more aggressive style, he doesn't want to get a Vanguard. Alright, build so far, 4-1-1-1, standard. And he is gonna pick up a drums next. This is the standard build pretty much every game, and I like what he did just there. So he was half mana, he just ferried himself out a Clarity along with his Bracer, and just Dagger on the Invoker. Really easy kill. That was actually surprising how easily that Invoker went down. Spectre is really good against heroes that don't have stuns if you are trying to pick around the enemy lineup. Heroes that don't really have stun or burst can be chased down by Spectre, and they can't really do too much. Like the Invoker can try to run, but he's not really going to get away. He's low mobility, doesn't have that many stuns, and really what he can try to do is like fight back with Cold Snap, Force Spirit, but if Zeus is there, then there's no chance. Spectre is also pretty good this game against Juggernaut, because if he Omni Slashes, you can Haunt. The only bad part is that Dispersion, the Juggernaut really doesn't care about when he Omni Slashes, so sort of like a two-way thing. And it looks like he's going to try to chase the Juggernaut down. He's being super aggressive, and it looks like he's not going to be able to catch up. Juggernaut's a bit too fast with Phase Boots, and the Healing Ward kept him alive. So now they're just trying to run away. Did get Omni Slash on the Abaddon, and looks like Ruba's gonna lift him. Dagger, and he could be going down here. Yeah, kind of just gives up. He again, this is something he just did like 2 minutes ago, but oh, he disconnected. Okay. Maybe that's why he turned around. We'll fast forward through this. But he sent himself another Clarity on the Courier when he was just backing. It seems like the Urn mana regen isn't enough, but he doesn't want to buy like another mana regen item. So he's just ferrying himself like Clarities occasionally, like every 2 minutes. Which is really good to do. You never want to go back to base if you unless you're like low HP and low mana. Let me just regular times this because it's unpaused. You never want to go back to base unnecessarily. You just waste a lot of time. If you're low HP, send yourself a Self. If you're low mana, send yourself a Clarity. Alright, so he's gonna max Desolate next. Just going for damage. Dispersion is really good as a value point. It gives you 10% EHP the first level you have it, and then afterwards it's only 4% more. But Desolate is, I think, flat damage. Just goes like 20 and then 15 after every level. So pretty good scaling, and it's for each hit too. So much better scaling than Dispersion. I guess in some games, if you're like really being pressured, you might want to level this version, but I haven't really seen him do this yet. Even in games he's losing, he prefers the Desolate build. Okay, so almost has his urn. Does have his ulti up, and looks like they want to try to fight top. Oh, Enchantress alone. Hunts in immediately on the Rubik, and he just dies instantly. And Jug goes down as well. They do manage to pick off the Abaddon on the side, but a pretty big win for them. Notice when he haunts in, he immediately goes for the support on the Rubik. Just the easiest kill, whoever he can pick off first. And looks like Invoker's gonna go down here as well. Does have Aegis, but I don't think there's too much you can do. Yeah, he is gonna go down here. And Enchantress is staying around a bit. Can't really be chased down though. So he's haunting in, immediately relocating onto a support and daggering him. I don't think this Rubik can do too much. Oh, Enchantress? Ooh, just barely lives. Really smart of him to dagger over to the high ground and not just try to run in a straight line.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So something about haunting and desolating, or sorry, haunting and relocating in, is that in team fights you might think that your desolate doesn't work, but the radius is actually pretty small. It's only 325, so if there's no one within 325 of your target, your desolate will still proc. And in a team fight, people tend to spread out a little bit to avoid AoE, like they don't want to clump too much. So you can actually get your desolate off fairly often, which is something you don't expect. Like, people don't really expect to be hit by desolate in a team fight. They don't really expect the damage output from Spectre. Alright, so he has drums. Gonna go for Yasha next. For item build on how this guy plays Spectre, he usually has a set build, which is Phase, Drums, Urn, and Manta. And sometimes he goes for Radiance. Other times he just goes into like Diffusal, Butterfly, stuff like that. Usually you can sort of tell when it's a Radiance game. There's like a lot of Blink Initiators. Maybe there's like a TA or something. Heroes that are really bad against Radiance. And
middle tower is under attack.
this is pretty cool. Okay. Well, it looked cool, but it was a pretty bad play.
Top tower is under attack.
Notice that when he haunts, he immediately checks all his illusions, which is pretty impressive in terms of just camera control and split-second decision making. Like, he checks all his illusions and decides which one to go to. Unfortunately, the one he decided to go to, not the best idea because he died. But if you want to learn how to play a good Spectre, that's something you can practice. Just haunting and then checking all your illusions. What most Spectre players will do, or most people who don't have a lot of experience with Spectre will do, is that they'll haunt with a set person they want to go to. So they'll be like, oh, I'm going to haunt and immediately go to the Rubik. I don't care where everyone else is, or like how low they are, or like what position they're in. I'm going to haunt and then relocate to the Rubik, and then we're going to kill him. Which is, it's good to like premeditate like that, but sometimes you just want to, you know, take in all the information you can before you make that decision. And that requires good camera control, which is something you can practice. Looks like they're gonna go on the Abaddon here. He's just hiding in the trees. He knows that he can have his Abaddon sort of tank spells and soak spells before he goes in. I'm just gonna throw out a dagger and let his Zeus do some harassing. Throw in an urn as well. And looks like now he decides to go for the Evoker. That's pretty low.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
We're gonna go on to a dagger here and
Radiant's middle tower
double
is
kill.
under
Get the
attack.
arc ward in. Looks like entrenches is gonna go down as well. Triple kill. That was really nice. The way they defended that tower, it looks like he got a haunt kill as well, haunting
Dire's
onto
top
the
tower is under
Rubik.
attack.
So the way they defended that
Radiant's
tower,
middle tower is under attack.
the Abaddon sort of just soaked all his spells, and Spectre knew that he couldn't go in because he would have died if he got focused down. He just sort of waited until Zeus bolted them down to an acceptable level, and then when they started running, that's when Spectre is a really strong hero, when you're trying to chase people. Because when people are running away from you, usually they're split, they're not going to fight back. Your dagger is more than enough to slow them down, you can earn them. This phase drums build really shines because you're always going to have
Dire's
more
bottom
movement
tower
speed,
is under attack.
and you're just going to kill them. And again with the clarity, 19 minutes, he's still ferrying clarities. So far I think he's never gone back to base. The only time he's been to base is when he's died. So this is what you want to do. This is the most efficient way to play. Just never go back to base. Alright, so he does have his Yasha. 20 minutes, he's pretty farmed. Phase drums Yasha. Almost a Manta, basically. He's like 600 gold away, which is pretty good timing. Manta is one of those key timing items on Spectre. Really amplifies your damage output because your illusions do get the Desolate, so pretty much triples your damage output, as most of your damage is from the Desolate. I wouldn't say most, like half your damage is from Desolate. Alright, looks like he's gonna farm his Manta. I would say this is a pretty good choice. He has been mostly just trying to look for fights, being super aggressive, but again, Manta, key timing for an item. Gonna make him a lot stronger. So, I did mention how Spectre is
Dire's
good
middle
against
tower
heroes
is
without
under
stuns,
attack.
and
Dire's
heroes that like can't really
structures
deal with the
are fortified.
illusions. So in this game, there's really only one hero that can deal with Haunt successfully, and that's Enchantress. She can enchant the illusion, but I don't even know if she has a level. She hasn't used it yet. Looks like there's a fight here. Haunt immediately goes onto the Rubik Mantis. Do you see how fast he died? That was insane. And looks like a one-team fight. So, we'll sort of go through what happened there. The team fight started, he haunted, he relocated on top of the Rubik, immediately used Manta and blew the Rubik up. You saw how close the Rubik was sitting to the Invoker, right? But he still took all that Desolate damage from the Manta illusions. So it's really deceptive. You feel like you're safe against Spectre being near your team, but you have to be pretty close to mitigate the Desolate damage. And immediately after he killed the Rubik, his Haunt was still up, so he relocated to the Invoker, and they got that kill as well. Saved him a few seconds of chasing time. Also remember, with your ulti, you can relocate to them as many times as you want, as long as it's still within the Haunt duration. You can also relocate back to your own original position, which I haven't seen him do yet this game. But it is something you can do. Just keep in mind that the way it works is, once you start haunting, when you relocate to another illusion, the illusion in that position switches with your hero. So the illusion you switch to will replace the position of your hero, but because haunt illusions always chase the target they're haunted to, the illusion that switches with you will chase you, or like chase the hero that you relocated to, with free pathing. So it'll end up in a slightly different position than when you first relocated to it. I hope that made sense. I know it was a bit confusing and might not have been the best explanation. Basically, when you swap with an illusion, the illusion you swap with moves, so when you move back to your illusion, it might be in a different place. Maybe if we see him do it this game, it'll be more clear. Alright, so he has Phase Drums, Manta, Urn. Gonna go for Diffusal next. Just a pretty stable item on Spectre. I don't really think I need to explain why it's so good. Just helps with chasing. The mana break works on your illusions. Gives you lots of agility. And the Purge is always a good utility for yourself. And Zeus ulted. Gonna check the positions of all the heroes, but seems like he didn't like the positioning enough to haunt in.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Looks like he wants to go bottom.
Radiant
He sees
structures are fortified.
2 people showing alone bottom. There was someone mid, and he's gonna relocate in. Haunt? Or no, he just TP'd in.
Dire's
Okay.
top tower is under attack.
And Invoker just goes down. 2 hits from each illusion. It goes from 3/4 HP to 0. Gonna chase down this Enchantress as well.
Tower is under attack.
Whoa.
Dire's top
That was pretty
tower
cool.
has fallen.
Threw the dagger at the same time as the haunt, and just haunted in. He didn't really want to get slowed by the Arc Warden Q. I don't know what the spell is called, but it slows you if you're not close to any other units.
Dire's courier has been killed.
And the courier just goes down. And we see the bench getting picked off, but that's not really a big deal. They are going to get Roshan here. Spectre is actually surprisingly good at Roshing because Desolate works on Roshan. Pretty neat change. You can solo Roshan with Spectre with like Mask of Death, like Heala Treads, and like drums, I think. I don't even know if you need the drums. But with lifesteal and like attack speed, it's pretty easy to solo Roshan, but that's not really something you want to be doing early game. Usually when you go lifesteal on Spectre, it's because you got like completely fucked in lane and you need to jungle.
Roshan has fallen.
But this guy has not been hitting creeps at all. His CS at 25 minutes is only 120. It's not like
Radiant's middle
terrible,
tower
but it's
is
not
under
like
attack.
what you expect from your safe lane farmer. But he's second in net worth just because he's been in so many kills. He has 9 kills, 10 assists. And remember that he had a really bad lane. He was had a pretty bad early game. He died to the Juggernaut top by ulting in, wasted a lot of time, but he just kind of recovered by fighting, which is what you do when you play this style. You just fight. You're actually like so strong, surprisingly. Spectre is just a good hero now. Alright, looks like he's going for Butterfly next.
Dire's middle tower is
Pretty
under attack.
expected. Good against Enchantress, good against Juggernaut. Just synergizes really well. And, ooh. Immediately haunts onto the Invoker. Looks like he's gonna haunt in on mid. There was 3 heroes there. He's trying to go for micro, but he's going down. Oh, getting saved by his Ven. Got Sunstruck. That was super aggressive. Bit of a misplay. I guess he really wanted to get a kill there. Haunting down the Invoker. As soon as he saw the Invoker TPing, he haunts mid, and he thinks he can get a kill. What he did there with his Manta Illusions is pretty nice. So he haunts in, he splits his Manta, he purges the target he wants to kill, and he just puts his Manta Illusions on them and he goes for someone else. Usually that is enough damage to kill someone. But unfortunately there was the, I forgot what it's called. The Arc Warden, the evasion thing, magnetic field, I think? And that sort of just ruined his plans. But it's a pretty nice thing to do. Looks like his team was able to clean up pretty nicely though. They did get the Jug and the Enchantress. But yeah, the really only mechanically demanding thing about this playstyle is your camera control for your haunt illusions, which he's been doing a fantastic job of. He really does like check all his options for haunting in. Just doing that will help you get the most information out of your ultimate, and it'll net you kills sometimes that you wouldn't have gotten if you were not paying attention. I'm sure you've played games against Spectre where she's pressed her haunt button and then
Dire's middle tower
she like
is
gets a
under
kill
attack.
somewhere and then the haunt illusion is like still on you and you're like at 200 HP or something and you're like, oh, thank God she didn't haunt back to me. Well, if you check all your illusions, that wouldn't happen and Spectre would be
Dire's middle
a
tower
monster
has
hero.
fallen.
He already is a pretty good hero.
Radiant's
Sleeper OP,
bottom
I think.
tower is under attack.
Ooh, that was nice. Unfortunately, he was not able to save his Bane.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
But it looks like you might get a Juggernaut kill here. Yeah, gonna get the Purge off, and Zeus is gonna take the last hit. So he saw the Juggernaut Omni Slashing Bane, and he haunted in to have the illusion tank for the Bane. And when the illusion was like almost about to die, he realityed in as well to secure the kill. So just getting the most out of his ultimate. Really a nice play.
Dire's courier has been killed.
This Zeus is doing a lot of work too, even though he's like last hitting everything. Looks like they're gonna fight mid. The one problem with Spectre is that she's not really a building hitter. She doesn't have a lot of building damage. But with this build, it's not too much of a problem.
Dire's top
Does have a lot of
tower
agility
is
to
under
work
attack.
with. And wow, he's still going in. Just does not give a fuck. He's really tanky. With Dispersion and like all this armor and Abaddon heal. Does have evasion as well.
Are fortified.
Extremely hard to kill him.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has
Go
fallen.
straight for the Invoker. A bit out of position, getting swapped like that. And everyone just dying one by one. Okay, so this game looks
Are under attack.
pretty much over. Feels bad, man. I think it was pretty enlightening in terms of how to play this style of Spectre. Looks like there's one last defense tier. He does get pretty low because of the meteor. And he does have Haunt up, so let's see what he does with this. Haunt in. Dagger on the Arc Warden, immediately gets out. He was considering haunting in for the Invoker, but looks like he decided against it.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
And gonna take Rax
Dire's
back
middle
off.
barracks has fallen.
So this style of play, like, it looks really basic, but it's I think it's something you just have to practice.
Under attack.
He's been taking, for the most part, very good fights. Like, he knows how to fight on this hero extremely well. He knows, like, he can't be the first one in, because if he gets focused in the early game, he just dies because he's too squishy. He lets his other heroes, like, tank. When heroes are, like, slightly out of position, like, solo pushing towers, those are really easy pickoffs for him. We saw multiple times this game where there are, like, one or two heroes in front of a tower, and he's like furiously pinging them like, oh, I'm a Spectre, we can definitely chase them, and because they don't have like 5 heroes there, we can just outnumber them, even if it's like 3-2. Spectre's chasing power is just too strong for them to run away. So he got a lot of kills like that. He took his fights very smartly, and he just kind of killed his way to victory, which is a very viable way to play this patch. Kills matter a lot. So yeah, if you guys want to try this style of Spectre in your pubs, make sure to just practice, get used to how aggressive you can be, look for those solo heroes pushing towers, and soon you will be an 8K Spectre spammer. Not really, but I'm sure you guys can win a couple of games playing Spectre like this, and maybe even with enough practice, you will get to 8K. But yeah, this game is pretty much over. I know you guys wanted a support replay, and I'll do that for my next one. We're gonna see Haunt in. Instantly dies. He tried to relocate for some other kills there, but Jug spun TP out and Enchantress just ran away. So I will do a support analysis for my next video.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I'll try to find a good support player. Luckily, there are quite a few official games going on now, so I might take a look at some of those. Those are a bit more interesting. Oh my god. Full HP to 0 from a bolt and just like one hit from each illusion.
Dire's
But there are quite a few official games going on for the Shanghai qualifiers, and we might look at those because supporting in officials is usually a lot better than in pubs. There are very few like support-only players.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
We could also look at some of my official games. I did play in the Shanghai qualifiers. We didn't make it too far. We made it to like round of 16 or round of 8. But we lost to Elite Wolves, that Peruvian team with Smash on it. But the game was pretty interesting. It was a pretty even game. And we can actually learn a lot from it if you guys want me to do that. But yeah, AK Spectre. Quite the player. Hope you guys liked the video. Give me a like, thumbs up, subscribe, comment. I want to hear your thoughts on how I can improve the video, what did you guys like, and I'll see you guys next time.